Welcome back to OpenLine. Talking about one of the major issues facing state government right now, the exploration at this point on the part of the Haslam administration to privatize all state facilities. We have with us Randy Stamps of Tennessee State Employees Association. Obviously, many state employees are concerned about this. We just showed a report that Phil Williams did a couple of weeks ago in which he talked to Governor Haslam about this. We have another report that he did last night that I want to play, and then we'll come back and talk about what we see in there. So let's go ahead and look at this report. This has to do with outsourcing at colleges and universities.
This was the scene as the people who maintain the buildings at UT Knoxville recently took to the streets after being blindsided by a plan that could result in their jobs being outsourced. It comes 2 years after the Haslam administration turned control of state office buildings over to the Chicago-based corporation Jones Lang LaSalle.
Our job in state government is to provide the very best services we can at the very lowest cost to taxpayers.
While the governor has insisted no decisions have been made, we obtained this strategy document that fully exposes the thinking behind that effort. It suggests that by outsourcing all state facilities, quote, to a single vendor, the UT system might be able to cut costs by more than $23 million a year. The Tennessee Board of Regents schools, another $40 million, which raises the question.
But are university buildings being poorly managed?
Well, that's one thing. We'll find that out.
But we obtained data that had already been compiled by state officials comparing the operation of those buildings to a key industry standard from Whitestone Research. For UT Knoxville, the Whitestone number suggests it should cost $7.54 per square foot to manage its buildings, but UT spends just $5. At UT Chattanooga, Whitestone suggests $8.08, but the real cost just $6.20. Across the state, the standard suggests $7.59 for the University of Memphis, but it comes in at just $4.26. Whitestone puts Middle Tennessee State at $7.27, but it only spends $4.59. And Austin Peay blows out the standard of $8.69 with its $4.67 per square foot.
The initial undertaking was, if we can show using best-in-class information that there is cost savings, then it's a done deal. Now, in fact, it doesn't.
Mike Ledyard is one of the outsourcing consultants hired by the Haslam administration to oversee the effort.
I hoped that the numbers would reflect a business case.
For outsourcing.
For outsourcing.
And it didn't.
No, it didn't.
Ledyard argues the standards presume that the buildings have been well maintained, while Tennessee's colleges and universities have hundreds of millions of dollars in deferred maintenance for work that needs to be done but hasn't.
Are they wasting money today? No, they're doing the absolute best they can with what they've got. Are there people out there who are capable of getting more for less? We believe there are.
How do you save money? You cut jobs, you cut services, all in the interest of profits.
State Representative John Ray Clements says that while he believes the Haslam administration's determination to sell out state government is out of control, the data proves that college and university spending isn't.
So are we going to cut even farther? You know, if we're already at bare bones and we're almost half the national standard, what else is there to cut?
The next request is for approval of a project in scope.
In fact, an email from Haslam's General Services Commissioner Bob Oglesby shows the mindset. He writes that he begins with the premise that the state ideally wants to have the private sector provide all of these services. On top of that, Oglesby wrote that at least one vendor suggested we consider including additional services they offer their clients, including but not limited to postal, printing, copying, food service, and warehousing.
We are talking to other educational institutions who have outsourced to find out what their results were before and after.
The Haslam administration's outsourcing consultant says that while the data did not show what he had hoped, he has not stopped looking for the opportunity for savings.
All this work is done under the assumption that the decision will be to go forward.
To outsource.
To outsource. But it's an assumption, because this is still an opportunity assessment.
So, all right, what comes to your mind there?
Well, what comes to my mind is when they've done some preliminary studies, it shows that we're already doing it efficiently and effectively, and yet they continue to push forward with the effort to privatize. So and they give the justification for that. Well, our initial study says we're doing it well and we're doing it at a low cost, but we're going to study some more to see if somehow we can justify privatization. And
but he did also say he believes there are people that could do it for even less. He said that. And I think the other issue is about deferred maintenance and that kind of thing. They're doing this, but there's been a lot of deferred maintenance. You bring in a private company, they take on some of that.
Again, and there are those who believe that some of that deferred maintenance has been done in order to set up the scenario for privatization. And especially, I believe that's happened in our state park system, which is a little further along in the privatization process than this broad contracting out for maintenance of state buildings, in that they're already having vendors come in and tour our state parks. And in that case, it's being proposed that we turn over assets of the state, the restaurants and the inns, and give them to someone, and not just give it to them, but also pay them to manage them. Now, there's just not many places you can do that. When you purchase a McDonald's franchise, they don't give you the building, all the equipment, including the playground for the children, and then say, go make all the money you can. That is illogical, and it doesn't make sense in the business sector, and it doesn't make sense for state government.
So what is your plan going forward? I mean, we have a minute. Obviously, you said the firewall is the legislature. Mm-hmm. What do you do now?
Right now, what we do is we meet with the legislators. We explain to them our position. We show them these red flags. Well, there's already been some preliminary studies made to show that maybe we can, maybe we can't save money. And one question we have is, how much have we paid this consultant that we're apparently ignoring because we're moving forward with the process?
All right, we have to take a break. Come back. We'll wrap everything up. Be back right after this.